Welcome to Chatting with Alea Comedian. I am definitely intoxicated, so I want to just warn you guys before you guys jump into the show. I am intoxicated. I worked 16 hours today. I look a raggedy mess. I have stains all over my shirt because I was drinking coffee and coffee was spilling everywhere. And I worked 16 hours, and I'm not about to sit here and sugarcoat shit for y'all. This is what it is. It's raw and real. And I was sitting here when I got home. When I got off, I was like, I need to have a drink. And then I thought about it, and I was like, bitch, you got that podcast you got to do. So what I did was I went to go have the drink, and then I'm here at, my watch is dead, but I'm here at 1:43 p.m., okay, a.m., and I'm getting ready to do the podcast. So if you're new to this podcast, guess what? So am I. And we're going to get it cracking. And this podcast is literally just talking about growth and maturity and mental health and all that type of stuff, okay? Like I said, I am intoxicated. You guys are going to get it raw and real. No one cares. This is what it is. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you. That's it. We're on episode 4. We already talked about how we're going to do this. This is the first episode of July that we're going to be hitting out. Now, I'm going to drop it on June 30th, but we are going to, this is July's thing. And then we'll have an interview, then we'll have me, and then we'll have me. No, we're having me now, then we'll have an interview, then we'll have me, then we'll have the round table. So that's how it's going to go. So you guys already know. Now, we're jumping into episode 4, which is childhood trauma. And I want to talk about that because I'm in a place where I am literally learning who I am and where I came from. So I'm at a place in life. Okay, so let's back up for a second. I'm a Capricorn. Any Capricorns in the building? Yay! Cap. Big cap energy. Anyway, okay. So if you're a Capricorn, and if you don't know, if you're not a Capricorn, but you know about Capricorns, you know how this is about to rock. We are very independent, and we're going to get the job done regardless, okay? I tried to put my little whatever. Like I said, I did 16 hours, so I'm thugging, and tonight I was like, let's get this out and popping. But to the podcast topic, childhood trauma and learning and growing. When you are a child, you have been exposed and experienced to certain situations that you really don't even know nothing about. You don't know that it affects you until you get older. You don't know that it affects you until you get older. But it affects you in the meantime. So what I want to really talk about is I want to bring in the beginning of mental health and how it makes a difference and what the problem is. I'm still learning, so I can't tell you guys that, this is what... I probably shouldn't do this intoxicated, but this is going to be the first intoxicated one, and it might be the last one. I am fucked up over here, okay? They had me drinking fucking, 3 Hennies at the bar. I was like, bro, I didn't even eat or nothing, So anyway, childhood trauma is when you are a child and you are exposed to different things that affect you now, or affect you during your growth and growing up, and you just never knew that it affected you. I'm smoking a cigarette because I smoke cigarettes, but don't worry, I didn't wipe it on the floor. I just wiped it right here because that's where the corner is going to go to. But I think childhood trauma is very important. And I'm 33, and I came to realize that there's a lot of shit that went on in my past that I'm not so certain of right now. And I'm in the middle of figuring it out. But I do know that there's a lot of things in my past that had happened that I may have not realized what was going on then, but I know now. So we're starting the new podcast. This is episode 4. And we are going to base it off of my life and what I've been through. And maybe some of you guys can relate, and maybe some of you guys can't relate. And that's okay. I probably shouldn't do this when I'm drunk because I am totally lost. But you know what? We're going to get this fucking episode out, so I don't even care. So here's the thing. When you're young and you're a kid and you don't know no better, you're just out here. You're just like, hey, I'm out here with these people. They're doing this. This is the last of the cigarettes, so you don't have to worry about that. I feel like when people grow up, they start to realize what was going on back in their lives. And when you start to think about what was going on back in your life as a child, you start adding shit up. You're like, you know what? This actually sounds right, or this makes sense. A lot of people do not even acknowledge their childhood trauma. So they live in what they know and what they're used to. I have always been the type of person where I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You did you. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be whatever I am. But now that I'm growing into who I am, and I'm trying to provide content and real shit to you guys, I'm thinking to myself, damn girl, you really been through some shit. And there's some things that I don't want to explain to you guys, but there's some things that I'm going to have to explain to you guys so that these things can make sense. So let's talk about growing up. You're a kid, you see your mom doing, you see your dad doing, you don't know no better. Like I said, I mentioned in one of the podcasts before, one of the episodes before, that, you know, my stepfather whooped on my mom, beat her down every chance he had a chance. And it's fucked up because I'm 33 now and he's passed away, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of understand why he did it. Does it make it right? No. No, it does not make it right. But as a kid, I used to watch my mom get beat down, and then I had to go to school the next day. And I would think, is my mom going to be alive when I get home? So when I thought, is my mom going to be alive when I get home? I'm at school. I can't focus. I can't think. The teacher is asking me a question. I can't answer that question because I'm worried about if my mom's going to be okay when I get home. So I think a lot of us take our childhood and we really don't. It's in the past. But in order for you to get forward to the future, you have to replay what happened in the past. I think a lot of people don't want to think about what happened in the past because it's traumatic. It absolutely is. I also mentioned how I was touched on as a child and I didn't realize what was going on until I was older. So let's get into it. Okay? You're a kid. Let's bring you back. Let's bring you back. Because think about it. You're now an adult and you are going through certain things and you may not know what is triggering or what is making you feel a certain way when certain shit goes down. I could be in a club. I could be at work. And I could work from home. And I could be on the phone from 8:30 to 4:30. But guess what? At 4 o'clock, I'm anxious. I'm ready to go. You know why I'm anxious? Because I want to know what's going to happen next. You know why I want to know what's going to happen next? Because as a kid, I was always interested in what was going to happen next. So, for example, I would You know, I'm a kid. I would go to school. I would do what I needed to do. But like my home was entertainment. It may not have been entertainment at that age because I didn't know no better. What the hell is this? But I know better now. So trauma is a part of your life that is scary, a part of your life that is unrealistic, that you like, did this happen? And us as kids back then, we didn't know. We don't know. So we go with the flow. But then you become an adult and some people stay stuck in their ways. And some people are like, hold on, there's some things I need to talk about. So we're going to get into my lifestyle. Y'all know that I grew up into foster care, okay? My mom was on drugs. My mom was not there like she should have been. And she may not like this podcast, and that's okay. I'm just being real with you guys. But as I'm 33 now, I understand why she may have not been around. Why, I get that we had to have a roof over our head. So she worked and did what she had to do. Now, between her and my stepdad, I don't know nothing about that. But I do know is that he made me uncomfortable because I love my mom dearly. And for you to put your hands on my mom, that's a problem. So there's certain things that we go through as a child that we really don't realize is a problem until we turn into an adult. And once when we turn into an adult and we realize, hey, this is a problem, if you realize that it's a problem, there's like, okay, what can I do to cope my mind, right? I personally feel like my coping medics or whatever it's called didn't start until recently, within the last 2 years. So as a kid growing up, I never understood why my mom got beaten on. I never understood why I was always with my stepdad. I never understood why my mom was never home. I never understood why she never really gave us affection. But now that I'm 33, I understand that she was doing the best that she could. At 33, can I be mad at her because you didn't teach me this, you didn't tell me this, you didn't? No, I can't. I can't be mad at her at all because she didn't know. She didn't know. Let's be honest. Our parents don't know. They're learning. There's no book. There's no book that says this is how you do stuff. So you just go with the flow on how you know how to do stuff. So as I grew up, I started to realize, like, at first I was like, you know what? These motherfuckers is the problem. Y'all can't get y'all shit right. But then as I grew up and I went on, I was like, okay, you guys can't get your shit right because you don't know how to get your shit right. Am I supposed to be mad? No. Am I supposed to be comfortable? No. What do? You figure out how to accommodate those feelings. So growing up for me, my mom was not there all the time, but she was always at work. We had to deal with our stepfather, and he was not the friendliest, but he did his best. And at some point in life, I thought to myself, well, why wasn't my mom? Like, why didn't she do this? Why didn't she do that? Why didn't it go this way? It's because she didn't know how. And you don't realize that until you are older enough to realize that. So with that being said, we know she didn't know how to teach. She went with the flow, we went with the flow. Okay. At this point in my life, I'm 33 years old, and I try my best not to regret or hold anything against her. You weren't there daily, but you did what you could do. I am 33. I have 2 kids, and I'm not always home with my kids. They are with someone else. And I pray every day that the person that they're with, they do them good. But there's nothing I can do when I need to provide and also make sure that they have. So in my mom's situation, she made sure the stepdad had us, and she did what she had to do. In my situation, I make sure my babysitter has my kids, and I do what I need to do. The difference between me and my mom is my mom never checked in with us. I don't know if it's because she didn't know that was necessary or if it was needed. But like for me, I'm going to check in with my kids. How's things going? Do you like the babysitter? Do you like what's going on? If there's something that you don't like going on, well, let's figure it out. I'm more involved where my mom wasn't involved. And that makes me feel like a better parent sometimes because I'm doing things that my mom didn't do. But I also noticed as a single mother, shout out to all the single mothers and shout out to the single fathers that's out here holding it down too, because y'all be holding it down. But sometimes you just don't know how to go about certain things. And because you don't know how to go about certain things, you just kind of go with what you know, which may not be right at the time, but you don't know. It's okay to not judge. It's okay to be like, you know what? Let's give the benefit of the doubt. And I think a lot of us lack that. So where I'm getting at is there's a lot of things that may have happened in your past life that you are being confronted with right now, or you are being at that point where you cannot get over it. I'm here to tell you that you can. You can. What you need to do now is take a moment and think about it. Was my mom there? Was my mom not there? Was my father there? Was my father not there? Why wasn't my father there? What's his excuse? Did I speak to him? Do I know him? Has this conversation went on? And you have to understand that everybody has a different flow of things. Okay? I'm learning and I'm growing. And as I'm learning that life is life. Life is gonna life. You're gonna have situations where you can control it or you can't control it. And if you can't control it, you make the best out of what you can control. So I say this to sums it up, that there's things in my childhood that I could not control, but I am now an adult and I can go about it a different way. We don't think that way. A lot of people don't think that way. Oh, you stole this from my childhood. You did this to my childhood. You can't fault them because maybe they didn't know. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of people don't know. So I just feel like when you go through certain things in your childhood, you have to be able to forgive whoever was involved because they may have not known. And now it's up to you to forgive them for not knowing and forgive them for not doing. But forgive yourself because you didn't know either. And now you know. I don't know how the hell this podcast is going to go, but we're just going to fucking rock with the flow, okay, here? So, as a child enduring trauma, you can't blame nobody, is what I'm getting at. I think that's fair. And if you think that that's not fair, or you disagree with what I'm saying, by all means comment and say that. I'm going to put this on because this is 19.26 seconds and I want to talk about it. I'm going to bring it up. But if you can't control, or if you can't accommodate, you can't be mad at what somebody else did. I probably fucked that all up. I'm sure I did. Anyway, what I'm saying is you can't get to the point where I don't like you because you didn't do this for me. You have to forgive people because they didn't do that for you. I am now at a point in my life where I literally just did the most biggest girls thing I could ever do. I stand on business when I say if you make me feel uncomfortable or you make me feel away, I need to separate myself from you. Absolutely. But as I'm growing and I'm learning, I'm also learning, like, well, you have to take accountability of what you did and what wasn't right either. You're right. So I have a situation, which eventually we'll get into, but I have a situation where I feel like I have to take full accountability for not speaking up for myself and allowing things to go the way they went. So if we're going to make anything right, I have to take accountability first. And I did. Very, very, very prideful to do what I did, but I did it. And I felt good about doing it. And I said to myself, I said, you know what, Alea? If you're out here talking positive feedback or whatever the fuck we're doing, you have to be able to obey by that too. So I can't just be sitting here coming on live and be like, hey y'all, this is what y'all need to do and this is what I'm not doing. I can't do that. So we now know that this is what we want to do. Learning and growing is a process. So if you understand it for a second, but you feel like you double back, that's okay. The best part of it is that you understand it. So you understand that what you're doing is wrong, but you're going to try to fix it. Maybe you attempt to fix it. Maybe you don't attempt to fix it. Maybe you make a plan to attempt to fix it. Either way, you're thinking about a way to fix it, which is a good thing. So awareness is always a good thing. When you're aware, it's a good thing. You can be aware for 6 months before something goes into action, but you were aware. So that's my point of learning and growing and forgiving, because you can't hold somebody accountable for something that they didn't know. Yeah, they didn't know about all the other shit, but they told you what they did know, and now you figure it out. So that's one of my, I don't even know what the hell it's called. Like I said, I'm intoxicated. I had fucking 3 shots of Henny. I had nothing to eat. I'm over it. Another thing I wanted to talk about was presidency. Trump or Biden? Why is it just them fucking two? Who the fuck is the other people? I don't know, because I don't do my research, and I need to do my research. But I will say I was not a fan of Trump. And I was like, who is this man and why do we have him here? Some of y'all may hate me for this. And if y'all hate me for this, I'm so sorry. If I'm wrong or if you need me to open my eyes a little bit more, by all means, DM me. I'm open to figuring it out. But from what I know, Trump's that fucking nigga, okay? Trump ain't no bitch. Trump ain't gonna say, yeah, come on, let's just do this. No, Trump's gonna stand on fucking business, and that's why it's been so difficult for the last few years. They just did a ruling on men and women, I guess, to go to the military or through the military, Army, Navy, whatever the hell is going on between the ages of 18 and 26. I don't know about y'all, but I got 2 boys. I am not fucking happy about that shit. And I did make a joke because I'm a comedian. So guess who's going to be a transgender? My kids. But I guess they're taking them too. So it really doesn't matter. I don't know which party really like stand on business on that, but I think that's bullshit. And I was like, damn, my sons are 10 and 3 or 10 and 4. So how do I explain that to my kids? And I was like, let it go. Well, eventually we ended up having a conversation, and my son was not happy about it. He was like, well, how are they going to force us to do things? And what I tried to explain to him was there's certain things in life that if you can control, you go about it accordingly. If you can't control it, there's nothing else you can do about it. You know, like, it is what it is. And in the world that we live in, which is so fucking free, there's certain things that we just gotta accept. A lot of people's like, oh, it's so great to come to America, but America got shit with it. We know because we're fucking Americans. But the people that's outside of America, they're looking in like, oh, this is the great world ever. And it's not. It's not. As a mother of 2 boys that could possibly be automatically drafted into the military because they need fucking help with war because they're not doing the shit that they need to do, that disturbs me a lot. So me and my son was talking, and I was just trying to explain to him, let's be real. You niggas are on fucking Fortnite all damn day, fucking shooting and bang, bang, banging. You can be in fucking army, and you better bang, bang, bang and kill them the fuck off. But it still gives me anxiety because why are we going through this? But it's not nothing I can control. So I can't say to them, do this, do that. I can't control that. I don't know how it works. I don't know what goes down. Yeah, we can move to Canada. Yeah, we can move to a different country and keep it moving, maybe. But it's a whole different living level. So, shout out to the moms that have boys and that are going through this. I don't really know what to tell you guys. Go with the flow. Do your research and see what it is that you can do to get them out of that or to opt them out of it. If there's nothing that you can do, you tell them to boss the fuck up and kill everybody that's ops. Period. Shout out to Big Mommy Lee. Another thing I wanted to talk about, I was talking to a friend today, and I was just telling my friend, I was like, hey, you know, when you meet people, you want to ride for the people that are riding for you. So I'm the type of person where I try to accommodate everybody. But if I see that someone is riding harder for me, I want to ride harder for them. We as people seem to ride hard for the people that don't give a fuck about us, for real. And then you got people that are like going ham. And I bring this topic up because today, like I said, I did a 16-hour shift. There's a hell of a lot of shit going on. But my friend had an event today, which is June 30th. She had an event today, and she said, hey, friend, I want you to come. I said, friend, I'm coming. I'm going to be there. But also, I'm in the mission of getting money. So I want to be able to get all the money that I can get, right? I accidentally booked a shift, not realizing that I had her date in my calendar. And I also didn't realize that it was the last month of June. And I'm like, fuck. This girl has supported me from the beginning to the end. And I don't really think that there's one time that I have really been down for her the way she wanted me to be. Now, you know your friends. You know your friends. You're like, this bitch ain't gonna do this. This bitch ain't gonna do that. You know that. My message to anybody that's dealing with any friendships, when you got somebody that's holding you down through any situation, and you chase people that don't even look at your situation, give the same energy that the people that love you give the energy to you. So if my friend is supportive to me, I need to be supportive to them. I don't know how this podcast went. I am intoxicated, but I'm going to drop this bitch. I love y'all, and we're going to get started, and I got to pee. It's Alea Comedian, chatting with Alea Comedian, and I got to go. I'm sorry. I love you guys.